On a Friday night, my husband and I went to see the movie, She Vanishes. As we admired the shark tank and the starry deep-sea sky, Liam half-jokingly, half-seriously mused, "The male lead in this movie is too amateurish. If it were me, I'd definitely commit the perfect crime. No one would ever find out." I looked at Liam's face, brimming with an eager desire to try, and clutched my hands in excitement. "My dearest husband, why do you want to kill me?" Liam and I fell in love at first sight. After a month of acquaintance, we quickly married. Throughout that month, Liam devoted all his energy to treating me well. Knowing I'd been fatherless since childhood, and my mother had remarried and disappeared from my life, he played the role of a responsible, mature man. He fostered a sense of dependence in me, successfully captivating me. But I knew very well that his love for me stemmed from the colossal trust fund my father left me. When I turned 30, I received 5 million yuan annually. If I die due to an accident or illness, the heir inherits the money as stipulated by law. Liam desperately wanted that money. He had squandered the fortunes of his 2 previous wives and was almost selling himself to pay off his debts. I, the wealthy heiress, was his golden goose, a godsend he'd rarely encounter in 1,000 years. After we married, I quit my job, dedicating myself at home to my dream of becoming a romance comic artist, my head filled only with rosy thoughts of love. Liam not only agreed but even offered to hand over his salary card, saying he would always be my solid financial support. I watched him make his grand vows, unable to suppress a laugh. He certainly wanted me not to work, not to socialize, making it easier for him to deal with me without anyone knowing. In fact, he had already tried. Liam's first wife died in a traffic accident. He wanted to replicate this by tampering with the car brakes to stage a sudden accident, and with his subtle acting, the police found it difficult to prove murder. But I couldn't drive. Although Liam constantly urged me to get my license after we married, I always got motion sickness behind the wheel, so he couldn't force me. He then planned to take me on a trip, hoping I'd meet the same fate as his second wife, who died in a hiking accident. However, I am truly lazy. I dislike climbing mountains and I'm not fond of water. He could barely concoct a plausible accident from any extreme sport. So, he turned to poisoning through food. Yet, over the years, I had lost weight and meticulously maintained my physique, posting all 3 meals daily on Douyin, social media, where I had a large following. I was confident that if he dared to poison my food, he would undoubtedly be invited to the police station the very next day. I bet he's more anxious than I am right now. He must be racking his brain to find a way to kill me. How exciting, absolutely thrilling. I'm eager to see what other surprises Liam can bring me. Liam kept his intention to kill me a well-guarded secret. Unfortunately for him, he had me as his opponent. Today, Liam came home early, unable to hide his mysteriously joyful expression as he walked in. "Naomi, look what gifts I've brought you." It was a small, white-furred dog, its wet tongue hanging out, its short, slightly coarse fur softly curled, looking incredibly docile and cute. Liam told me its name was Machi, a bichon. He said he brought it from a friend's house. "I've been busy with a project lately, so I haven't had much time with you." "Naomi, haven't you often complained about being lonely at home?" Liam stroked the puppy's back and told me, "By the way, I have to go on a business trip tonight. Machi can keep you company." I felt the dog's coarse fur and wondered, do bichons really look like this? As soon as Liam left, I immediately took this adorable dog to the veterinary hospital. After a series of checks, the doctor informed me, this isn't a bichon, it's a long-haired albino pit bull mutation. Despite its innocent and cute appearance, it's extremely aggressive and belligerent inside. As he spoke, it wriggled out of the nurse's arms, wildly challenging the other dogs in their cages. "And where did you buy this dog, madam?" The doctor stated bluntly. "Machi has been specially trained." The fur on the back of its neck is all bare, likely from an electric shock. Furthermore, its hind leg shows a mark. This is a symbol of underground dog fighting rings. The doctor announced that if his hypothesis was correct, this dog had either defeated a black bear or was a superior tear-and-shred fighter. "Look at its teeth," he said. "They're all sharpened. It's not suitable as a family pet at all." I exclaimed, "So how are dogs like this usually handled?" The doctor replied, "It's best to put it down peacefully." I agreed to the doctor's suggestion. "Thank you so much, Machi." Liam returned from his one-day business trip earlier than expected. In the dead of night, he tiptoed in, likely not even daring to breathe loudly. Alas, when he entered, he didn't find me mauled by a dog on the floor. He turned on the light and found me sitting on the bed, sighing. He cried out in alarm, "Naomi, why aren't you asleep?" My eyes were red-rimmed. "Machi got lost. I've looked everywhere, but I still can't find him. I wonder if he was stolen by dog snatchers." Liam gasped and rushed to embrace me. "It's okay, Naomi, I'll help you look tomorrow." I wrapped my arms around his waist. Without even trying, I could smell the lingering scent on him. I told him, "Don't bother looking." This afternoon, I took him for a walk and he tore a stray cat to shreds right in front of me. "Look, the fur on my body is all curly, clumped together like the night sky." Liam seemed to pale slightly. "I don't care about that." I smiled, though I wasn't sure why. "Ever since we watched that movie on Friday, I keep seeing patterns like that. My heart feels uneasy, as if something bad is about to happen." Liam's voice was hoarse. "Don't overthink it, Naomi. Tusk, if only I hadn't taken you to see that kind of movie." The next day, Liam didn't go to work. In the afternoon, he was gone for a while and then returned immediately. "Naomi, I bought you so many things." I ran out and saw Liam carrying a bag in his left hand and an easel in his right. "Huh, so the dog plan failed, and he's going to build a coffin for me now?" Liam said these were painting supplies and an easel he bought for me. "Didn't you say you've been short on ideas lately?" "Your works keep getting rejected by the publisher, so I wanted to help you relax. Look, this easel I found at an antique market. It once belonged to the talented French painter Cécile Mechin in the 80s, I replied, "but I draw comics." However, the name Cécile Messangrian sounded truly familiar. "Kill her without mercy." "Haha, kill her without mercy." CECILEMESSANGRIAN, but Liam said, "Art always has connections. Maybe you can try oil painting to find inspiration." So he happily carried the easel up to my second-floor study. "You don't need this table anymore," he said, telling me to open the attic and put the old table away. I refused. "It's okay, I can do it myself. Don't touch the attic. It hasn't been opened in 10 years and is full of dust." We were currently in my house. My father had passed away. After my mother left, I lived with my 2 aunts and uncles. After they passed, my cousin married and had his own life. I lived alone here until I married Liam. He once asked me if this house was on freehold land or a commercial property. I guessed his business must be in trouble. He truly was a man of loyalty, even wondering whether it was easier to trick me into giving him the house or to kill me. After that, I was bedridden for over 2 weeks, unable to draw a single stroke. It wasn't until Liam saw the dust-covered easel that he gradually lost his temper. "Naomi, if you're free, paint some pictures for me. The paintings in my study are so old, I want to change them." I replied. "I'm too lazy, I don't want to paint." Liam pleaded. "Just one picture, please. I want to see you paint *me*. "All right," I conceded, setting up the easel and arranging the paints. Before dinner, I had finished a painting, Starry Night. Liam's face changed color. Naomi, is something wrong with you, or are you just obsessed after watching that movie?" I looked at him innocently, but this is all I can think about. When I pick up a brush, this is all that comes to mind. What can I do?" "All right," Liam panted. "If you don't trust me, if you feel I'm going to harm you, then just stab me to death right now." With that, Liam rushed into the kitchen and grabbed a meat cleaver. I clutched my head, so scared I burst into tears. "Liam, you don't dare, do you? Let me do it myself." Saying this, he pressed the blade to his wrist and made a quick slash. I froze, my body rigid. Liam also seemed stunned, probably asking himself, shouldn't she be rushing to embrace me right now, crying and apologizing? But I did no such thing. I simply watched, astonished, as his blood flowed. Then I leaned back and fell softly onto the sofa, my eyes rolling back. Goodness, rolling my eyes like this is truly troublesome. It even dislodged my contact lenses. My eyes are so tired. Naomi, what's wrong?" Finally, Liam frantically used a towel to staunch his wound and carried me to the hospital. After the examination, the doctor was bewildered. "Your husband cut his own wrist, so why did he carry you to the hospital?" I replied. "What can I do? I'm terrified of blood." Back home, Liam was sad and sulky with me, hiding in his room and refusing to come out. I peeked through the door for a while, feeling like he was sobbing. "Oh, grown man, what are you crying for?" I went in to comfort him. He hugged me tightly, saying, "Naomi, please be good. I truly don't want to hurt you. I've lost the one I love twice already. Please believe me. No matter what, I don't want to hurt you." I smiled, stroking his hair. "Don't worry, Liam, I will never leave you. Whatever happens to you, I will share the good and the bad with you." "You mean it?" "Of course." I patted his head, as if patting a dog. Then you must promise me too, never to leave me. You have to be my obedient little puppy. The next morning, I took the Starry Night painting to a Ding Center, Appraisal Forensic Analysis Center. I asked the staff there to help me take samples from my painting to check for any harmful substances. They said the results would be available within 7 working days. I told them I needed it urgently for tomorrow and swiped my husband's credit card. Just like that, I quickly received the analysis report. The surface of the oil painting was riddled with formaldehyde, exceeding the carcinogenic standard by 13 times. Inside the paints, radioactive substances were detected, especially in the black and white colors. 2 of the most common colors contained. The name of the element was missing in the original text, but implied as dangerous. I don't even know where this scumbag got this stuff. Marie Curie dedicated her entire life to science for the sake of her late husband's ambition, ultimately becoming a brilliant scientist. If she knew that in the future, someone would use this substance to murder his wife, she would surely rise from her grave, wouldn't she? So I happily returned home, opened the black and white paint tubes, and replaced them with Liam's shoe polish. He was a stickler for shine. His leather shoes were always immaculately polished, without a speck of dust, as were his leather jackets and briefcase. Next, I disassembled the easel. Sure enough, the inside revealed clear adhesive, commonly used in interior decoration to seal toilets and sinks, with sky-high formaldehyde content. I chopped up this adhesive and put it into Liam's car air freshener box, mixing it with jelly. Everything was handled quickly and delightfully. Afterward, I began to feign illness, complaining of aches and pains all day. I'd faint out of nowhere. I was scared of motion sickness, needles, blood, cockroaches, and even spiders. In short, allergic to air. On 2 occasions, I happened to sit in a corner and overheard Liam on the phone, clearly stressed. He was essentially telling the other party to delay things for a few days, stretch out the time a bit. My wife won't live much longer. I tried my best not to laugh out loud. Phone calls, huh? All right, I'll play that game too. That day when Liam came home from work, I deliberately stood on the balcony, my back to the door, also on the phone. Director Liu, I want to reinspect the house. That's right, it's not the new furniture. It's because I'm a bit sensitive to toxic gases. It's been like this since I was little, and lately I keep fainting. I don't know if there's anything unclean in the house. What did you say? You said I don't need to worry about the material if the item wasn't newly bought. Call the police? No way. My husband and I live together, and our relationship is still good. I used a handheld mirror to observe Liam's rapidly changing expression. The next morning, he unceremoniously threw the easel and paints into the backyard incinerator. Burn them all. I quickly ran down. Liam, what are you doing? Liam replied. Oh, I noticed this pear wood is prone to termites. Besides, you don't even like painting. If you do, I'll buy you better stuff. I said nothing, just silently stared at the incinerator, worried. In reality, I was afraid he might accidentally discover what I had buried underground, my dear dog Machi. It wouldn't do if he found out. Thus, for a month, I noticed his intention to kill me. He made repeated attempts, but none were successful. So what would he try next? I was so excited I rubbed my hands together. But over a week later, I noticed Liam often had injuries. Sometimes his face was bruised, sometimes his skin was scraped. I didn't know if his creditors were beating him, or if the radiation he used to poison me had finally taken effect. The most crucial factor with radiation is time. It varies from person to person. Some rot instantly from a slight touch, while others exposed to nuclear reactors show effects much later. A scoundrel like Liam, perhaps his internal organs had all rotted away already. Ha ha, but I never imagined that this man, when questioned by me, would blame me for his injuries. Naomi, don't you remember anything? Don't overthink it. No matter what happens to you, I will never leave you. Was it really me? How could I injure Liam? If I wanted to, I would have killed him outright. These past few days, I had trouble sleeping. In the middle of the night, I often heard strange noises, especially when Liam was away on business and no one else was home. Several times, I carefully checked each floor, only feeling at ease after finding everything in order. One morning, my little goldfish was lying dead on the floor. I quickly called Liam, asking if he was home yet. He said he was still out and kindly asked if I'd had another nightmare. Naomi, please don't overthink things. It's okay, just be good at home. I'll take you for a checkup when I get back in a few days. Of course, I wouldn't count on him taking me for a checkup. I had all my limbs and could go myself. I told the doctor about my recent mental state. He prescribed sedatives to help me relax and stop my wandering thoughts. Sure enough, I slept better in the days that followed. One morning, I woke up in horror to find someone lying on the floor, scissors plunged into his shoulder. It was Liam. I let out a blood-curdling scream. Liam hugged me, reassuring me, "It's okay, it's all right. Naomi, I know you didn't mean it. I don't blame you. I was wrong to come home in the middle of the night and scare you like that." I frantically shook my head. "It wasn't me, Liam. It definitely wasn't me. I would harm myself before I'd ever harm you." The wound on Liam's shoulder was still bleeding. Seeing the blood, I felt the need to faint, so I fainted again. In truth, I kept wondering, is Liam planning to kill me? Why the sudden change in strategy? At this rate, it seems he's about to be killed by me. I sighed softly. It truly is difficult to understand the thoughts of a worthless man. However, I soon discovered Liam's true purpose. The next day, while he was showering, I secretly opened his phone. Finally, I found the truth I wanted. Lately, he had been frequently texting a girl whose profile picture was an elegant artistic photo. I wondered to myself, does he have these kinds of schemes too? I'm not even dead yet. Has he already started looking for new prey? I opened their messages. "Mr. Liam, these are 2 new products from our side. They're a great deal, a limited-time thank-you promotion for old customers. Please check out the details." Ha, so it was insurance sales. Insurance? Liam buying insurance. I quickly jotted down the insurance information and the other person's WeChat ID. As soon as the shower stopped running, I put the phone back in its original spot. "What's wrong, Naomi?" Liam looked at me, his expression not very happy. "Are you feeling unwell?" "No, I just got a call from someone claiming to be an insurance consultant," I lied. "That person told me you had inquired about insurance with her and wanted to discuss it, but couldn't reach you, so she called me." "Called you?" Liam initially looked confused, but quickly regained his composure. He patted my head and said, "It's nothing, Naomi. They just want to make money, they keep bothering me, just ignore them." Afterward, I obediently went to bed and fell fast asleep. Half an hour later, I heard him get up, walk out to the balcony, and loudly reprimand the insurance salesperson. The gist was, "Who gave you permission to call my wife? Don't you know she has little contact with the outside world and doesn't understand things? What if you scare her?" The next day, I proactively contacted the insurance agent named Tina. First, I apologized to her, explaining that my husband had misunderstood. Actually, the person who called me about insurance wasn't her, but someone else. He'd scolded the wrong person and was too embarrassed to tell her, so I would communicate directly with her on his behalf from now on. If she had any good and suitable insurance plans, she should introduce them to me. That's how I learned from Tina that Liam intended to buy term life insurance for me. What is term life insurance? As the name suggests, it's insurance for a specific period of life, for example, until age 50. So, as long as I don't live to be 50, if I die before my 50th birthday, for any reason, including illness or accident, compensation will be paid. I asked Tina, under what circumstances is this type of insurance typically suitable? Life insurance sounds strange. If I don't die by the deadline, will they make me die? Tina gave a forced laugh. Of course not. This type is actually designed to protect the earning power of a household's breadwinner. For example, between a husband and wife, if the wife is a homemaker and the husband works to earn money, and they still have a 1 million yuan mortgage. What happens if the husband unfortunately passes away? Can the wife bear such a large loan? Therefore, in this case, purchasing term life insurance is considered equivalent to valuing the husband at 1 million. Regardless of illness or accident, if that person is no longer there, at least the 1 million yuan remains to preserve the home. The essence of insurance, simply put, is to guard against unexpected risks and help minimize potential losses. I understood. So it turns out that nothing in this world exists with malicious intent. For example, herbicides, they're made with such an unpleasant taste, why would anyone willingly drink them? I wondered why he didn't just buy accident insurance directly. I felt that for someone like me, an accident could happen at any moment if I stayed near Liam for even one more minute. I said, I see that the maximum compensation for accident insurance seems much higher. With enough spending, you could buy tens of millions, even over 100 million. Whereas term life insurance seems limited to about 5 policies, with each policy only compensating over 10 million. Tina explained, but term life insurance has an additional compensation clause that accident insurance doesn't. I cut in. Is it suicide? Tina exclaimed, my goodness, insurance even covers suicide. Tina confirmed that regular accident insurance typically doesn't cover suicide, but term life insurance does. After 2 years of purchasing the policy, compensation can be claimed. I understood, so Liam wanted me to commit suicide. Of course, an accident would be best, but I'm truly not someone who easily has accidents. Moreover, both his previous wives died in accidents. If there's another one, the police would probably be watching him 24/7. HMPH, but my personality is like this. My father died early, my mother abandoned me, my aunt didn't love me, my uncle didn't care for me, I've never even thought about suicide. So how did he plan to make me commit suicide? Before leaving, I gave Tina a large sum of money to keep a secret. I blurted out, you know what? I think Liam wants to get rid of me. If you breathe a word of this, he might kill you first. Tina's face turned ashen, scared to the point of losing her soul. The next morning, I checked her social media page. She had resigned. I thought to myself, girls these days are truly vigilant. Indeed, the dating instinct gradually disappears according to evolutionary theory. I hadn't even had a chance to say, if you tell anyone, I'll kill you first. And she had already run away in fear. So it turns out Liam wanted me to commit suicide. After many incidents that couldn't pass as accidents anymore, he needed a flawless, untraceable plan. That's right. What else could help him escape suspicion and simultaneously benefit him more than pushing me to suicide? He tried every means to establish that I was mentally unstable, hoping to drive me to such despair that I no longer wanted to live. That's underestimating me a bit. One should know that many mentally ill people possess a rich and profoundly joyful inner world. Conversely, it was Liam who, whether frustrated by repeated failures or genuinely ill, began bleeding from his gums and losing hair these past few days. I feigned concern. Liam, you should go see a doctor. What if it's a serious illness? What if something happens to you? How would I live? I pouted dramatically, appearing in his eyes like a lone boat lost at sea without a harbor, my hands tightly clutching his shirt. When he heard me say, how would I live? Liam's eyes lit up. He gently stroked my head. Silly girl, if anything happens to me, you must still live well, okay? I cried. No, I won't. If you're gone, I will definitely go with you. I saw him force out 2 drops of tears. Fool, I won't allow you to do anything so reckless. I scampered into the kitchen, just like he had before, grabbed a meat cleaver and placed it against my wrist. I'm not lying to you, Liam. If you're gone, I will definitely go with you. Naomi, what are you doing? Liam panicked, trying to snatch the knife from me. In the struggle, he stabbed me in the stomach. He must have been thinking, perfect, just what I needed. When the police arrived, he would explain that she tried to commit suicide and it was just an accident. I swear, even with my eyes closed from the pain, I could clearly hear him calculating on my face. However, I opened my eyes and stood up. Because the knife in my hand earlier was a fruit knife, freshly bought online and still in its original packaging. Liam panicked, immediately changing his demeanor. Naomi, are you okay? I said. See, even heaven doesn't want to separate us. It means we still have a destiny together. You must go get a thorough checkup. We still have a long life to spend together. However, Liam's test results weren't good. The doctor said he had severe anemia. I cried every day, feeling sad. But he was very optimistic, diligently pulling out gray hairs every day, even mixing colors into his mouthwash. When I said once more, if you truly pass away, I will follow you, he replied, Naomi, don't worry, I'm afraid you'll collapse. So the next day, he brought home a snow-white rabbit, telling me it could keep me company and stop me from overthinking. Naomi, Machi is gone, it's over. I know you're still grieving, I'm sure you'll like this little rabbit. It's very well behaved. No need to take it outside, it won't go anywhere. Indeed, this rabbit was quite nice, soft to the touch. Naomi, what if something unfortunate happens to me later? Liam looked at me, his eyes gentle and loving. Then this little rabbit will be here. I cried out, no, you must not die. If you dare to die, I'll cook and eat it. Don't talk nonsense, you silly girl. Liam hugged me, looking down at the white rabbit. Naomi, name it, I thought, looking at its red eyes, and smiled brightly. My name is Naomi, so let's call it Ruby. Liam chuckled. Ruby, that's a lovely name. 3 days later, I woke up with a start in a pool of blood. Under my pillow, a fruit knife was placed, and Ruby was mutilated, lifeless. How to describe it? perhaps like a blood-soaked sanitary pad, making one nauseous. Its blood-red eyes were gouged out and placed beside my pillow. Ah, 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 I clutched my head and screamed. Liam rushed over from his study. Naomi, what's wrong? He said. I was in the study all night designing models. I didn't even enter the bedroom. I threw myself into his arms. It was me. Liam, why did I do that? Naomi, it's not your fault. I know you're afraid I'll die, so unconsciously you harmed Ruby. Don't blame yourself, it's all my fault. I cried. I didn't. Why would I? Naomi, what if I get seriously ill? Liam's eyes were redder than the rabbit's. How can I rest assured leaving you alone in this world like this? I hugged him tightly, looking at the red dot on the wall, a smile playing at the corner of my lips. That's right, he wanted to drag me with him, wanted me to delude myself into believing I was mentally ill, wanted to manipulate me into a double suicide with him. During the day, when Liam was out, I opened the hidden camera in the house. I saw him squatting in the bathroom, one hand stroking the rabbit, the other holding a fruit knife, repeatedly stabbing it. Blood gushed out, staining him all over. Only when the rabbit was completely dead did he go upstairs and throw it into my bedroom. I sighed. There are so many hidden cameras in the house, why didn't he check thoroughly? Unbelievable. His 2 previous wives must have been truly foolish to be deceived by such a man. Afterward, Liam started taking me to see a psychiatrist. Every day he gave me various colored pills. I bought rainbow-colored fruit candies, and when he wasn't looking, swapped them all out. Poor me, I had to eat candy for 2 weeks straight. My insulin almost couldn't handle it. But my illness seemed to worsen. Sometimes Liam would be disturbed by me during my sleepwalking, or he'd return from work to witness me gnawing on clothes and crawling on the floor. More frighteningly, one time he woke up and I was using a menstrual cup, trying to pour boiling oil into his ear. I laughed maniacally, repeatedly muttering, I want to peel off a perfect layer of ivory. Liam was terrified, frantically knocking over the spoon of oil. His hand was severely burned. I sobbed, rushing him to the hospital, begging for his forgiveness, promising to cooperate with treatment. Please don't leave me. I also said that when I recovered, we would sell the house. I was almost 30 and my father had left me an inheritance. We would travel to Europe, Australia, all over the world. But Liam silently shook his head, tears streaming down. Naomi, I want to be with you, but what about my illness? I can't bear to leave you. If I leave you, you'll commit suicide. You said you would. I looked at him with firm resolve, then proceeded to do even crazier things. At the same time, his own condition worsened. After his hand was burned, despite a month of recovery, it didn't improve. The wound spread from the back of his hand up his arm, his flesh rotting, exposing bone. I could only change his bandages and apply medicine daily. Then he started having nosebleeds. His gums bled profusely, blood gushing out, spraying from between his teeth. He vomited repeatedly. Truly the same illness as the great Marie Curie. I remembered my middle school physics teacher explaining that radioactive materials are extremely dangerous, and humans must stay far away. I asked Liam, how much money does your company have left? If not, liquidate it. Even if I have to sell everything I own, your illness must be cured. If it can't be cured, I will die with you. Liam was moved to tears. Naomi, don't say such foolish things. That's money I left for you. If I'm gone, you can still live. My illness cannot be cured. I don't want to implicate you. Oh, thank the heavens. His empty company was already deeply in debt. Leaving it to me would surely bury me. Liam, please don't give up, okay? I pleaded. If he leaves, I truly have no desire to live. The next morning, I reviewed the security camera footage. Liam was trying to make a phone call. Dr. Wu, why do I feel my body getting stranger and stranger? Like I said last time, I asked you to make a false report for my wife to make her mentally collapse, to think she has a mental illness. If she knows I'm dying, she will definitely commit suicide with me. But why do I feel like I'm actually sick now? I had burned Liam's shoe polish, discarded the car air freshener, and destroyed all the paintings I had made in his office. He didn't know those decorative paintings were drawn by me, exactly alike, using the formaldehyde-laced paints he had prepared for me. Liam wanted to lure me into a double suicide with him, but he had no idea I had already tipped off Dr. Wu. I told the doctor that the truly mentally ill person was my husband, that his health had reached its limit, but because he was so worried about me, he always thought he wasn't sick. I asked the doctor not to pay attention to him, just to do regular blood tests. Just like that, Liam finally collapsed one afternoon. When he woke up, I had dragged him into the bedroom. I was wearing a white handfu, the same one I wore when I first met him, with the string of bodhi beads he had personally put on my wrist. I had light makeup on, sitting in front of the bed, gently unwrapping the bandages from his hand bit by bit. "Naomi," I looked up and smiled. "Liam, you're awake? Naomi, you?" Perhaps my smile was terrifying. He was scared but struggled futilely, unable to stand up because I had tied him to the bed. I held the sharp knife on the bedside table, the very knife he intended to use to stab me during the chaos. It was just a prop, its purchase history not recorded, but I had sharpened the blade. "I told you, Liam, if I can't save you, I will definitely die with you." I used the tip of the knife to lightly shave the fine hairs on his face. He was so scared he wet himself. Naomi, please don't do this." "Don't worry, it won't hurt. I'll use your carotid artery, it's much faster than the wrist. Shall we go to eternal paradise together?" "Naomi, listen to me." Liam tried to break free, shouting loudly, "Do you remember the first time we met?" I nodded, the memory still vivid. At Zilin Temple, I went to offer incense, and Liam was there too. He was there to pray for the souls of his 2 deceased wives. That day, he wore a white traditional robe, his expression profoundly sorrowful, yet he seemed born to be with me. He said he had a cruel fate, intending to abandon love for the rest of his life and seek refuge in Buddhism, but upon meeting me, he felt as if he had come alive again. The Grand Master at Zilin Temple once said that if we wish to rekindle our relationship in the next life, we must not spill blood in this one. "Naomi, don't do this, don't use the knife. If you truly want to go with me, we will definitely meet again in the next life." Liam said, "I have a method. We can use charcoal to pass away peacefully in quiet serenity." I pushed Liam's wheelchair, taking him into the study. He said he liked the decor here. Before bidding farewell to this world, to be with everything he loved, he would surely retain these memories in the next life. I replied, "Then I must bring in the things I love too." So I pulled in a large chest, telling Liam, "Inside are all my comics. I hope in the next life you will still love me and I can be a carefree comic artist." I followed Liam's instructions, preparing the charcoal brazier and adhesive tape. I sealed all the windows in the study and locked the door tightly. Liam's study had a modern electronic lock. Outsiders needed a password to prevent either of us from giving up midway. I suggested an 8-digit password, each of us choosing 4 numbers. Just like that, we set the password, ensuring the door couldn't be opened. Afterward, we hugged each other for a long time. I lit the charcoal brazier, and we each took a sleeping pill. I knew he hid his under his tongue, how foolish. I did the same. With everything ready, he sat in his wheelchair, and I sat on the floor, my head resting on his lap, as close as a cat. We wore the same clothes as when we first met, silently, like a painting of past and present lives. Death gradually claimed our breath. Before feeling the suffocation, my mind recalled the scene from that movie. I won't delve into lengthy explanations, but ultimately, I still felt that the glittering spectacle of the starry deep-sea sky, unparalleled in its wonder, was perhaps just a beautiful yet poisonous jellyfish. In the moment, it bloomed with myriad brilliant colors. Deep within lay the most cruel desires and toxicity of the human soul. I had no intention of condemning this terrible thing, because all of this was my own decision. 20 minutes passed. Liam started to struggle. He would surely collapse before me. Firstly, men generally have larger lung capacity, require more oxygen in their blood, and absorb more carbon monoxide. Moreover, he was already gravely ill. As for me, he had no idea that for 2 months, ever since we watched that movie on the big screen, I had secretly been taking diving lessons. I practiced swimming, trained my breath-holding abilities, and added traditional Chinese medicine to my soup daily to nourish my qi and blood. I believed that staying in an oxygen-depleted room with him for 20-odd minutes, I would certainly not collapse before him. Liam pushed me away, frantically rushing towards the door. He thought I didn't know his study door had 3 ways to open. The key had already been thrown out into the living room by me. The password, we each chose half, making it impossible to crack. Only the last method remained, fingerprints. This was precisely his final trap. He calculated that after I passed out, he would use my fingerprint to open the door and escape. But after he tore off layers of bandages and looked at his own bloodied thumb, he froze in terror. Beep, beep, unrecognized. Beep, beep, unrecognized. Beep, beep, unrecognized. I laughed and stood up. Liam, don't waste your efforts. Your thumb was long ago sliced off by me. These past few days, I've been changing your bandages and applying medicine to your burned hand. How could you notice that I had already set a trap for you? You can't escape now, Liam. I smiled at him. You knew all along. Liam's face turned ashen, as gray as ash. He lunged frantically towards me. Naomi, you schemed against me. Tell me the password now. Quickly, tell me. Thump. I lifted an ink-black vase from the chest and slammed it onto his head. He crumpled to the ground, unable to get up for a long time. He could only helplessly watch as I detached the valve from a tank and pressed a gas hose to my neck. I exhaled contentedly and smirked. I uttered, "Look, oxygen tanks. Thirsty? I have more tanks, you know." The chest I had just brought in didn't contain comics, but 2 oxygen tanks. Give me, give me. He struggled towards me, desperately trying to snatch the oxygen tank. But as soon as he inhaled, he instantly vomited violently. Everything he'd eaten that morning came spewing out. The vomit was mixed with blood. That tank contained helium. Helium isn't toxic, but inhaling a large amount will cause severe vomiting. His body, already full of injuries, couldn't withstand this torment now. I watched Liam dying, watching his bloodshot eyes gradually transform into a deep red starry sky. And that helium tank was the one he bought me for my birthday last year, used to inflate balloons. No wonder people say the romance of a scoundrel is truly fatal. It's just truly like the stars under the sea. Under Liam's desperate gaze, I raised my right hand, using the peeled skin from his thumb, and pressed it onto the door lock. Beep, beep. The study door opened. Ah, back to being alone again. How desolate. Half a month later, the police came to me. They said Liam's creditors had reported him missing a long time ago. You are his wife, right? Naomi, your husband has been missing for so long. Why didn't you report it? I replied. My husband isn't missing. He told me he went on a business trip abroad. He calls me every day and texts me too. If you don't believe me, look. I pulled out my phone. The police officer only observed the message stream from my side. Liam, have you settled in over there yet? Is your circadian rhythm too messed up? Don't drink too much, your liver isn't good. I bought a white rabbit today, it's not very cute. When you get back, I'll cook you some soup. The police officer was stunned. These are just messages you sent yourself, aren't they? Your husband didn't send anything. I tilted my head and smiled naively. The police officer inquired with the neighbors, and only then realized I was mentally ill. Oh, poor Mrs. Naomi. Before, the couple was so deeply in love, they were inseparable. I heard that after she fell ill, her husband took her for treatment many times. Unfortunately, prolonged illness means no one to care for you, let alone a husband and wife who are like birds of the same forest, flying off when trouble comes, right? I heard her condition worsened, and she even harmed her pets at home. Her husband probably couldn't take it anymore, mortgaged his company, and fled abroad with the money. As a result, she's lonely, her illness has become more severe, and she still thinks her husband hasn't abandoned her, often calling herself. She even tells us her husband bought her this and that from abroad, but I see it's all stuff bought on Taobao. Ah, what a karmic burden. The police officer asked me, Mrs. Naomi, do you know your husband owed tens of thousands in gambling debts outside? I waved my hand. How could that be? Liam wasn't involved in anything like that. He's the best man in this life. In the end, because the police had no evidence, they only concluded that I was a mental patient, and there was no way to handle the case. And Liam, well, he forever escaped to the other side of the ocean. At night, I went upstairs to the attic and opened the dusty wooden door. The lock was old. It was a place I had never allowed Liam to enter. This was my secret base, my mental resting place. I lit candles and soft light filled every corner. Each face appeared vivid, preserving time and years. My father, dazed in the darkness, had dealt blows during my childhood. My mother had decisively abandoned me when I was little, along with my unborn sibling. My uncle had soiled my 7-year-old innocence, and my aunt had silently witnessed it. My cousin, who wanted to usurp my father's inheritance, once plotted to push me into a river. My desk mate had stolen half a month's worth of my meal money, and my superior at work constantly sought to isolate me, making me suffer injustice. Before they acted, they were all sweetly deceptive. Naomi, don't worry, they're all family, they won't abandon you. What a fraud, how well that sounds. I pushed Liam's wheelchair out and placed him in the center. Indeed, there was something fresh about him. Compared to those rotten heads, Liam truly looked radiant. Moreover, he had vomited everything, making the anti-decomposition treatment easier. I had meticulously restored the damaged skin with wax, layer by layer, making him look so lifelike. Wouldn't such a perfect man be better off by my side? Now it's settled. You finally don't have to leave me anymore. In truth, Liam never knew I had grown weary of this life a long time ago. I always dreamed of finding a man who truly loved me, then giving him everything, and afterward, quietly leaving this world alone. Now that I think about it, I was so naive. That's right, a girl filled with possessive desires, turning on the lights when afraid of the dark, crying out in pain, destroying what she couldn't have. Isn't that the simplest creature in the world? Is there anyone in this world who truly loves me? Thank you, Liam. You helped me find the meaning of life once again. 6 months later, after psychological therapy, I finally revived strong. I bought a cruise ticket and went on a solo vacation. At the first-class bar, a young man approached me. He even showed off a magic trick, pulling a rose from behind his back. Miss, I'm lost, so I asked my flower, can it lead me to the most beautiful place on the ship? And it led me to you. Tell me, how much debt are you in? I chuckled softly. He was surprised, then laughed adorably. You have such a great sense of humor, ma'am. You must have been fooled by many playboys, haven't you? They're only after your money. I'm not like that. Transfer me 50 yuan and I'll show you how much I'll spoil you. I thought to myself, why are there still guys who like leftovers like this in this day and age? I smiled, looking at him. His appearance was decent, exactly my type. Do you like me? Yes, he nodded continuously. I smiled. Very good. Do you want to stay with me forever? As long as I can be with you, I'll be your dog for life. I put away my phone, not letting him see the photo I had just taken. A photo of him gambling at the B2 casino, his eyes bloodshot from red and black, just like Liam's starry, bloody eyes. Another one for my collection.